Within minutes of the Bourke Street massacre in Melbourne, with James Gargasoulis using his car as a murder weapon, questions were being asked about how the Victorian police had responded, or more accurately, perhaps had not responded. Now, I had it on pretty good authority quite early on that the police, the ones who were in the chase, had plenty of chances to intercept the killer after he had stabbed his brother only hours before 6 people were slaughtered and 27 people were injured in the Bourke Street Mall. But I was told that cops at the coalface, the cops in pursuit, had asked police command 6 times for permission to ram him or to bottle him up. And I was told they were ordered not to. Now, I know a coroner will finally decide what really happened before the Bourke Street massacre, what went wrong. But this week, police regulations were changed to allow police in Victoria to, I use the quote, shoot to kill if that Bourke Street situation ever came up again. Now, to discuss it from the Victorian Police Association in the studio, Wayne Gatt, good evening.
Evening, Darren.
Now, I don't like the shoot to kill line. That was what the headline was. But in fact, am I right in saying the police regulations were changed to give your officers more reassurances on what they could and could not do?
Yeah, I suppose the policy change that we're seeing now provides that clarity that our members need, and certainly some clarity that they need when they're making split-second decisions. So when our members are in these situations, and it's all happening out there on the ground, there isn't an opportunity necessarily for them to go and seek directions from others. There will be small opportunities for them to look at opportunities to stop, opportunities to save lives, and it's important for police to have a clear, unambiguous policy that allows them and empowers them to take decisive action to save lives.
But in this case, they had him blocked off in Chapel Street at one stage. The traffic lights had him blocked off. It was hours after he'd stabbed his brother. And we've seen footage of him driving past a Channel 9 reporter in his car, almost waving as he went past. So there's plenty of opportunities, but it was command that was telling them, this is what you can do and can't do. Is that correct?
Well, look, it's hard for me to comment, given this is before the coroner. So, and ensure that investigation will undertake what opportunities may have existed, what could be improved, as they always do. But I think looking forward, what this policy does, and we welcome this policy, I might add. So police on the street, the frontline police officers of Victoria will welcome this policy as an empowering policy to allow them to deal with these sorts of situations. Darren, we've seen these sorts of situations all around the world, and this is a phenomenon that modern police forces have to deal with increasingly.
But also, I mean, when you say shoot to kill, you saw him doing wheelies outside Flinders Street Station. There were so many people around there, no policeman in any time would attempt to shoot because he had so many people around. But there are other situations where you think, this I can do or this I can't do, and especially I think the one that's been singled out, if somebody's coming at you in a car trying to ram a police car or trying to get past you, that would be the situation where you'd be entitled to use a firearm. Is that right?
Well, that's true. I mean, all the circumstances will be different, and I think this has been branded in the media at times as a shoot-to-kill policy. It's actually not. What it is, it's a policy that allows police to use all tactical options, and that ranges from the use of vehicle force, so ramming cars off the road, to using other forms of roadblocks. Any tactic that's available to stop that vehicle threat is now on the cards. And we say that puts the discretion firmly in the hands of the decision makers that should be the police officers in the patrol car.
That's right.
They're the only ones that are in a really strong position to assess the risk to the community, and it gives them the powers, the authority and the imperative to actually do something. Look, and I think a discerning feature of this policy now is that it actually provides a mandate. It actually says we expect that you will do something, which is a strong reassurance for police officers when they're out there. Now, not only understanding that they can, but there's an expectation as well.
Well, I mean, in a similar situation in New South Wales, you had sharpshooters at the Lint Cafe siege who believed they could take a shot and take him out. And they were ordered not to. Now, I know that those coppers, after those sharpshooters, hurt like hell when innocent people died. I'm sure the same thing, without personalising it, I'm sure the same thing applied to some of those policemen who were involved in the early chases of Gargasoulis, who, when they found out what had happened afterwards, would feel personally almost feelings of guilt and I would think self-loathing. Of course, but it's not their fault.
And it's not their fault. And then that's the reality. They didn't make those decisions. They didn't choose to take that action. That was one person, and one person only, that was responsible for that. But the thing is, police, when they're involved in all sorts of incidents around the country, certainly in Victoria, they can't help but feel a desire to want the best possible outcome, to help the community as much as they can. And of course, sometimes we feel like we've failed when we haven't got the result that we'd hoped for. And that's sad, and that's one of the features of policing that makes it one of the toughest jobs, Darren. It's something our members wrestle with every day.
Final question, one of the toughest jobs. It must be very tough for your men and women at the exhibition centre in Melbourne this week. It's been a very tough gig.
It's been a long and a tough one, and the criticism's thick and fast for police, and it's unwarranted in our view. They're out there not because they choose to be, they're out there because they're protecting innocent Australians who are exercising their right to freely go about public places. We think they've done a great job. We think they've allowed people to go about their business lawfully. We think they've reduced assaults on innocent people in the community. And for that, some of them have been assaulted themselves. So that's disappointing to watch from our perspective, but we're proud of the work that they've done.
Yeah.